Hello, I'm FX Toycat and welcome back to the video. Today I'm here on a downloaded version of Cove, which is of course one of the default battle maps, and I'm here in the fancy texture pack because I really like the way this map slash texture pack combination looks. But yeah, I'm not here to talk about either of those things. Instead, I'm here to talk about battle mode in general, because I wanted to give you some advantages that can really help you beat your friends, because a lot of people always ask when I'm streaming, like, oh, Toycat, how do I get better at battle? I'd like to, win more games, beat my friends and stuff like that. And, although it's really easy to say, oh, Stone Sword is good weapon, Steak is better than Apple, I figured I could give some more advanced tips that might not be intuitive, but that can really help you win some games against your friends. And that's what I'm doing in today's video. Hopefully you all do enjoy this. If you do like it, like the video and let me know, because it helps out the channel, and let's know you do like these sorts of battle mode tip videos. But yeah, with that said, let's get straight into it, shall we? And let's start by quickly mentioning that yeah, I'm here with Mega vs Prime. He's going to be helping me out as my little bit of a test dummy, show you some of the things that again just seem a bit weird, but actually really help out. So let's show you the first tip here, which is the fact that height advantage is everything, especially when there's stairs. So yeah, being high up can be really dangerous other times, but for the most part, if you just got a stairs, like here on Cove for instance, these are really beneficial to climb up, and they can really turn the tide of a fight, because bear in mind, if he's trying to come up the stairs at the same time I'm going down, what's going to happen is because I'm climbing downstairs, look at how even though I'm using my, my fist right here, even though I'm using my fist, I'm still getting critical hits while he's not, because when you're going downstairs, you actually fall down a little bit and you actually get the critical hits, which is, 50% damage, plus if you sprint when you're going down the stairs, you can knock them off and make them take full damage as well. So yeah, basically, if you hit someone while running downstairs, not only do you get critical hits, so that's 50% more damage, but oops, as I just proved there, you can also kill someone very easily, and that was with my fist I just did that. So we need to get him back because the spawn's really far away. Let's give him his axe again, and let's show you what the second tip here is, which is for when you're, another one for when you're kind of behind, because again, you're not always going to get the good stuff. If you've got a good stuff like a stone sword, it's really easy to just be like, oh, well, I'm going to win this fight. But if you don't, if you're, stuck with just a diamond shovel, for instance, then what might be really useful is, tips to actually go on the defensive or the offensive, like the aggressive defensive, I'd call it, because basically, if you're, if you have bad stuff, someone has iron armor and they're about to kill you, you can actually use, this to do some really clever stuff, where basically, I'm going to show in a second. Basically, if you just run away from someone, you do some weird parkour, and you chase them somewhere where they're about, you're like one hit from being knocked off, you can do some clever stuff. So every map has somewhere where you can equalize with the diamond shovel, because it's the most amazing weapon you should keep no matter what other stuff you get. So there's also an iron axe of knockback, there's also a stick knockback. Look how much damage I could have dealt if he'd have fallen on the sand there, but look how much you can, damage you can deal someone while also knocking them off. This also works both ways. It works as like the most aggressive weapon in the game, because bear in mind, if, we're both all the way up there, for instance, let's say we're both up there, I can literally one hit kill someone, even if they have all the armor in the game, because full damage isn't protected by armor. So yeah, the point I'm trying to make the second one here is that diamond shovels are OP, and any knockback weapon is so much more powerful than you might think it is, because being able to knock someone off can be a one-hit kill KO, which again, if you have nothing else but a stick with knockback, you can still win games if you just try and tilt the engagements in your favor. So yeah, that's going to be my second little tip there. Diamond shovel equals OP. If you get one, keep it. Even if you just have a knockback stick, it still has some value and should keep it in addition to whatever else you get. So I'd say, the stone sword, it doesn't just replace the diamond shovel. I'd say they both got a place in my inventory, but there's a bunch of other examples where like a wooden sword and a stick with knockback, they both have uses and you should keep them both. So yeah, with that said, let's move to the third tip here, which is actually to do with the center chest, because it's the fact that as of TU like 40, whenever Tumble came out, basically they changed it so the chests won't regenerate if you stand too near them. So there's actually two variables that affect this. I think it's 32 blocks. If you win 32 blocks of a chest, it won't refill, or it'll refill way less than it should. And if you're 64 blocks away, it will refill at the same pace it did before. So yeah, that means that these chests right here, if I'm standing right here waiting like, oh, one of them will get food someday, or one of them will get armor, they're not going to restock with that stuff. It might be worth checking them to be like, oh, someone left some potions over. But realistically, most of the time, what's going to happen is nothing. You're just going to be like, oh, these chests aren't refilling. Whereas the chests over there, for instance, you see that one of the cave, that might just restock itself because I'm way more than 32 blocks away from it. So yeah, if you want to get some chests to refill, I'd recommend either waiting in the center and then going for the outside chest, or wait around the outside somewhere. So a good example of this would be like, on this map, I walk there, but let's just fly for now. If you're all the way up here, for instance, a nice vantage point, you can see those chests as soon as they refill. You can get there within, 10 seconds or something by just bouncing on this. But yeah, basically, by just keeping an eye on the chest but not being too near them, you can get the benefits of, the chest refilling without wasting it. Plus, the center is the most dangerous point of the map, which brings me to my next point here, the fourth one, and that is when you're eating, if you're going to drink a potion, you're going to eat food, you can do anything which requires some time and, potential danger, always find a corner. So the cool things about corners is they only expose like two, I guess you took like one angle of the game, so you only have to look from the left to the right, just like this. So if you're eating food, for instance, try and find a nice little cave like here on Cove, for instance. You can see just over here, really nice little corner, you eat your food, and you can every time, and if anyone comes across, they're probably not going to see you anyway, because look around this cave, like, you have to look in right in the corner to see them. And plus, there's the other thing of like, oh, well, that means you can see them if they see you, you're not going to be attacked from behind while eating, and that's one of the worst ways to die. Like, the surprise deaths where, like, you're eating and then suddenly you get triple hitted and, oh, you're suddenly dead, they're the worst types of death, whereas I think if you're in control of the situation, you might be able to escape, and if you have a knockback weapon, you can use tip 2 and combine those together. So, yeah, that's the 4th tip here. Eat in a corner, drink in a corner, do your inventory management in a corner if you can, or at the very least, don't do it in the center. The center, especially on maps like Cove, on maps like Cavern, it's where people tend to congregate, and you don't want to be, you know, there exposing yourself with steak and whatnot. So, let's move on to the final tip here, which is actually to, the final tip here is to do with loading the maps themselves, because there's only 17 maps in battle, and that's with all the DLC. Most people only have access to 3. Learn the maps you have, because there's so many cool things you can pick up, which, you know, can help you evade someone. So, for instance, I'm going to show you how on Cove here, for instance, it's one of the maps that I really like, but I still haven't learned it too much, but even some of the stuff I have picked up already is so useful. So, for instance, you know, up here, for instance, there's a little, let's say someone's chasing me, and I'm like, oh, I need to get away from them. Being able to do lots of turns and twists that they don't know what they're doing is a really handy way to do it. So, for instance, you can jump from up here, you can jump from over there, onto this little roof up here, follow it along, and then, you know, because most maps have slime blocks, if you know where the slime blocks are, you can do really ridiculous jumps that will scare other people away, like this, for instance. Even if they know that they can jump on it, like it's a cross, it's quite easy to do. If it's on a smaller map, it's just a single block. There's lots of scary jumps you can do to, like, scare people away, basically, and the point I'm trying to raise here, okay, so, you know, if it was doing that and that would happen, there's lots of things you can do to scare someone away, and learning a map's parkour, learning a map's, like, hidden areas, learning all that sort of stuff, like places where you can lose someone, can really help out. And you might see when I'm playing battle, every now and then, like, there's a fight I really should lose, but someone just, you know, can't chase me in time, and they can't get it to happen. So, let's show a couple more just on this map, like, in case you want Cove in particular. I've done, you know, particular videos for most of the maps, but, oh, Mega vs. Prime has chased me, so I'm going to run up this ladder right here, right? And, there's a relatively tricky jump, because it's like a 4-block sprint. You can jump from here over to there. If you can do the jump just right, most people aren't going to, and you can probably see how that's going to work. So let's try that again. So, oh, I'm being chased by me. Okay, I'm, you know, you're chasing someone, you try to do a jump. It's, there's loads of tricky jumps, or, like, there's loads of tricky jumps. There's loads of, like, bizarre maneuvers you can do to either increase the distance. Messed up that time again, but the jump is possible. I've done it before. Yeah, let me show you. So I got here, and he's like, "Oh, come and get me! I challenge you." And he's just not going to be able to, because it's a tricky jump like that. So yeah, basically the point I'm trying to raise here is that there's lots of parkour maps on lots of maps. There's lots of, like, hidden places you can get to, and all you have to do is you have to find those, and you can use them in a public game. So yeah, maybe spend like a few games just kind of looking around, learning the nooks and crannies, because there's so many bizarre little features. I think this is the map with a hole in it. Yeah, it is. I guess this is an old version Cove. There's so many tiny little nooks and crannies about maps that can really help you. Like, oh, getting on these trees right here, isn't that handy? Or like, you know, being able to climb around here. And yeah, maybe that's useful for you. Either for escaping people, either just because it helps you traverse the map, or because it allows you to do loads of chests really quickly. So, for instance, actually, you know, I was about to end it, but, you know, just as a quick example. So you're over here, you find your chest up here, for instance. So, oh, here's one chest. Then you can, you know, use the thing I just showed you to be like, okay, well, now I'd like to get a second chest, actually. So you jump down onto the ship. The ship has a rare chest, actually, which means it has more stuff. So then there's a second chest found just over here. From this chest, if you really want to, you can then go underwater, and you can get 3 chests in the space of like 20 seconds, or if you, again, there's so many more, you know, examples on both sides of the map, so, oh, this is, I'm thinking of the wrong side. So, on this side of the map, I get them confused, which you can avoid, by the way, using the red stuff, and this video is going on for longer than 5 tips, but it's worth it. Basically, you know, there's a chest over here in this cave, which is a pretty nice one. It's in a skull cave. Then there's a second chest up here. Bear in mind, this is also a rare chest, so you get yourself a rare chest plus that chest. Then, from here, you can go to the ship, which has a third chest. Again, in how many seconds? Like 5-10 seconds, you've gotten 3 lots of chests. And then, this is what I was thinking of with the secret underground thing. Just under here, there is a semi-secret, I mean, most people know about by now. There's a semi-secret 4th chest, which means 4 chests in the space of like 10 seconds. Knowing routes like that can really help you out. And yeah, that's the point I'm making with map knowledge. That's what I've gone through, like, for the last 5 minutes or something. And hopefully, some of that has been imparted on you. I hope you did all enjoy this video. Hope you learned something about battle, or if you didn't and you've just been watching the gameplay, hopefully you're convinced that this map looks awesome in the fancy text pack. Fantasy Cove would be a really cool little remake or something like that, wouldn't it? But yeah, like if you liked it, share if you liked it, subscribe if you're around here. I make videos like this one every single day on my channel, and if you subscribe, you'll see them daily on your homepage. Thank you very much for Mega vs. Prime for coming along to help out with this, and thank you for watching the video, because I'm going to have to see you all in the next one. So, goodbye. Next one. So, goodbye.